The first thing I noticed when the shuttle's doors opened was the silence. Not normal silence, not the quiet hum of machinery or the soft murmur of an awaiting crowd. This silence felt engineered, as if the towering crystalline walls of the Zelrai Palace absorbed every stray molecule of sound. And all eyes were on me. I, Lieutenant Marcus Hale of the United Terran Fleet, had been sent as a diplomatic envoy to the most culturally rigid species in the Orion Spur. The Zelrai were known for three things: their absolute emotional discipline, their unmatched physical symmetry, their royal family, mysterious and rarely seen. And now I was here, miles deep into their capital citadel, walking straight toward a throne chamber glittering like a galaxy collapsed into a single room. My escort, a tall, violet-skinned guard, paused at an enormous obsidian door veined with glowing symbols. "You will be presented to Princess Narala," he said, voice calm but carrying an undertone of warning. "Show respect. Show restraint. Humans tend to be expressive." I swallowed. Noted. The doors opened. Inside, the princess stood alone. Tall, statuesque, her skin a luminous silver blue like starlight on water. Her posture flawless, her movement measured with an elegance humans could never naturally replicate. She turned toward me, and for a moment, I forgot every line of the diplomatic script. "Lieutenant Marcus Hale," she said, her voice a soft harmonic echo. "You are welcome in the court of equilibrium." I bowed. "Thank you, Your Highness." She studied me, not with disdain or curiosity, but something sharper. Assessment. Calculation. Her attendants stood along the walls, silent and still as carved statues. I felt 20 pairs of eyes tracking my every motion, but I managed to keep my composure until she stepped closer. Her form radiated a kind of perfection that human biology simply didn't produce. Elegant limb proportions, smooth gradients of luminescent color, and an almost gravitational grace when she moved. And I, idiot human that I was, blurted out, "Your form is, well, it's perfect." The entire chamber froze. Every guard stiffened. Several attendants inhaled sharply. One nearly dropped a ceremonial staff. Princess Narala blinked once. A strange emotion flickered across her usually serene expression. Shock. Actual shock. I had no idea what I'd just done. "Middle," the princess responds, "and nothing is the same." "Lieutenant," she said softly, "did you just compliment my form?" Heat rushed into my palms. Yes. The chamber vibrated with disapproving murmurs. That was when I realized what I'd violated. The Zelrai believed form was sacred. To comment on one's form, positively or negatively, was reserved for intimate partners, spouses, bonded souls. I had basically proposed without realizing it. But instead of outrage, Narala dismissed her attendants with a flick of her wrist. The guards hesitated, but she repeated, "Leave us." In perfect synchrony, they bowed and silently exited, sealing the massive doors behind them. Now it was just the princess and me, and her expression had softened, no longer unreadable, but something almost human. "Marcus Hale," she began, "the Zelrai spend their entire lives striving for equilibrium, emotional control, physical harmony. We do not seek compliments. We do not offer them." Her eyes, brilliant silver irises, focused intently. "And yet you spoke without calculation, without fear, without restraint." I rubbed the back of my neck. "Sorry." Humans say inappropriate things when nervous. That was not inappropriate, she said. It was truth. Unfiltered truth. She stepped closer. "Why did you speak it?" My heart thumped loud enough that she could probably hear it. "Because it was the first honest thing that came to mind. I wasn't trying to flatter you. I was stunned." Her pupils widened slightly, a biological sign of intense emotion among her species. "No one in my court has ever addressed me like that," she whispered. "Not even my mother, the queen. Not even my tutors. They all speak in formulas. But you speak like an unshielded star." I blinked. Thank you." She smiled, just a tiny, almost imperceptible curl of her lips. But it was the first smile I'd ever seen on a Zelrai, and the sight nearly knocked the air out of my lungs. "Walk with me," she said. We strolled through her private garden, a breathtaking space filled with bioluminescent flora that pulsed with soft light. The air smelled sweet, like citrus drifting on cold wind. "Marcus," she said suddenly, "do humans choose their leaders? Not by genetic perfection, but by decision." "Yeah," I answered. "We elect them. And if one is flawed, they still lead. Sometimes the flawed ones lead best." She exhaled, but it wasn't a sigh. It was a release. "You have no idea what it is like," she said, voice trembling slightly, "to be raised as the embodiment of a perfect lineage. To be told that emotion is weakness, that affection is disorder, that form must be flawless." Her fingers brushed one of the glowing plants. It responded by dimming slightly, sensing her mood. "You're allowed to feel things," I murmured. "Even royalty." She turned to me. "Your compliment had destabilized me. In ways I don't understand." "Destabilized is bad?" "For Zelrai, yes. For me, perhaps no." Then alarms exploded across the entire palace. A deep, resonant chime that shook the crystalline towers. Nirala stiffened. "Intruders. Rebel insurgents." "Rebels." "Yes." Her eyes hardened. "They seek to overthrow my mother. They oppose peaceful contact with humanity." She grabbed my wrist, her touch surprisingly warm. "You must stay close to me." "Why?" "Because you are the first human to enter our palace. They will assume you are here as an ally to the queen. They will try to capture you. And you. They will try to kill me." Middle. The attack on the palace. We ran through the corridors as crystalline walls lit up with defensive runes. Guards clashed with intruders, Zelrai rebels with darkened skin patterns, their forms marred intentionally to represent their break from equilibrium. Energy spears clashed like lightning. One rebel spun toward us, lunging with a blade that buzzed like an angry insect. Nirala shoved me behind her and intercepted the strike with a precision I'd never seen. She moved like liquid metal, twisting, sweeping, striking with perfectly measured force. The rebel fell. More followed. I had no weapons. I was just a diplomat. But when one attacker slipped past the guards and grabbed Nirala from behind, instinct kicked in. I tackled him. We tumbled onto the crystal floor. His blade sliced my arm, burning like fire wrapped in electricity. But I managed to pin his wrist long enough for Nirala to strike him unconscious. When she knelt beside me, her expression finally cracked, not into fear, but into something bordering panic. "You are wounded." "It's fine," I muttered, clutching my arm. "Just a cut." "No," she whispered. "It is not fine." She pressed her palm to the wound. A soft glow radiated from her hand. Tingling warmth spread through the cut as the pain faded. "Wow," I breathed. "You can heal." "Not fully," she said, "but enough." Then her hand lingered, longer than necessary. The air between us shifted. "Marcus," she said softly, "why did you protect me? You could have fled. You had no obligation." I met her eyes.